We live, family. We in the house. Mic check. We in the house. Mic check. We sound nice. Yeah, we heard a lot of feelings out there today. That we talking about. And bringing facts. That's what the people want to see. They want to see facts, family. And that's what we bringing today. Today we talking about the geography of blacks in ancient America. And I see guys is putting, they talking about that the Olmec said, and I've been studying Olmec over 30 some years now, most definitely. And so you're not going to tell me nothing about the Olmec, nigga. You don't know nothing about the Olmec, real talk. And you see, we're going to show you the intricacy of the Olmec civilization. We're going to do that. And with documentation, and physical verification. Okay, now let's talk about this. Now we just went over the tropical zone, and we showing people that the tropical zone is where most of ancient civilizations appear in the ancient world. It was in the tropical zone. Now, for some of y'all who try to make North America your holy land, I ain't mad at you. You're running and running, and maybe one day you'll get tired because you're doing all these gymnastics when people ask you to show up with the artifact. That's all I want to see. Let me tell y'all something. First and foremost, when I do research and I'm looking for all the great civilizations of the earth, the first thing I'm looking for is megalithic architecture. Do the work for me. You understand what I'm saying? Do the work for me. And if I show up, you already got megalithic architecture. Because you know why I have to, because you have to understand how many different sciences and arts go into megalithic structures. You talking about, it could be up to 50 different high sciences and arts that go into that megalithic structure. So it's not just, you got astronomy, you got cosmology, you got geology, you got all these different engineering. You got, blueprints, got to be drawn up. So you got to go into geometry. You got to have the rulers. You got to have, it's so much that go into megalithic structures. So when you see somebody who has developed megalithic structures, that right there alone tell you that these peoples is highly advanced. So do the work for me. Okay, that's the first. I'm gonna make it easy on myself as a researcher. I'm not about to sit up here and the first thing. See, when you see people ain't got, they have to convince you too much. They had to come with too much dialogue. Nigga, don't show up with dialogue. I show up with the pyramid. A Khufu. Beat it, nigga. Just beat it. I don't want you to tell me about what was and what could have been and it used to be here and the motherfucker just show up with something better than it. Just show it. I'm gonna show you a picture of the pyramid of Khufu. Can you just show me? I don't want to hear about it used to be, it was, the maybes and the probablys and all of that. I don't want to hear that shit. Just show up. This is show and tell, and you can't come to show and tell with nothing to show. You can't come to show and tell with nothing to show. So let's come back on in here. Let's show. Let's show, family. Can we do that? Let's show. So when we talk about the geography of blacks in ancient America, we already know if a nigga was anywhere up and we talking about you talking about the ice age just ended in the Americas. Okay, the ice age ended about 11,000 years ago. Okay, and this was what they call the glacial maximum. That means this was the furthest extent that the ice came down into. I mean, you talking about damn near into Kentucky. You see what I'm saying? You talking about into Kentucky. You talking about into the middle of America. You had ice sheets, you glaciers and shit on top of the soil. Okay? So you're not going to make me believe that this is the original land of a black race. Now, when you say native, it means to be natural to that area. Now, a lot of people want to make it, and I'm not about to argue that point right now. Some people say if you born there, this, that don't make you natural. That don't native is rooted in natural to me. I don't know what y'all talking about. So if a place where you can naturally occur, a polar bear cannot naturally occur at the equator. That shit don't happen like that. A polar bear is native to the polar. Don't that make sense? Make it make sense if you're gonna do this shit or leave it alone. So you see, let me keep it moving. I don't want to stay on this too long. And so we look at this brother right here, and this is Michigan. This is, Michigan was covered in ice. Indiana, Ohio, parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin. Let me come on over here. Here we go. The Dakotas, all of New York, coming into Pennsylvania, New England. Man, this shit was and the Great Lakes was where glaciers scrubbed the earth and melted. And so that's why you get freshwater lakes, because the glaciers melted and filled the goddamn holes up and where they drug. So ain't no way you gonna make me believe no highly melanated people gonna come from no goddamn iceberg. And you can keep believing whatever the fuck I don't care at all. And you will never, ever, 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 ever. And so I don't come on your page, but you could come over here. You're welcome, because being a teacher, I can only give you the information. You ain't got to take it. You ain't got to believe. You could go somewhere. It's a whole lot of YouTube pages, man, that teach a cult, that teach that the Olmecs, and I'm gonna do that. Matter of fact, I might touch on it today about Augusta Le Plongeon, who was the first one that went to talking that the Mayans was more ancient than the Egyptians, and a lot of those occultists took the works of Augustus Le Plongeon and James Churchward, two weirdos who was trying to predate the Mayan and saying that the Atlanteans and the Lumerians and after the fall of Lemuria, that's where you get the Mayans and so on, and then the Atlanteans, and then when Atlantis sunk, then no, sir, not at all. We don't believe nothing in no occult. That's garbage. That's garbage. You might as well go and get a Dr. Seuss history book. You understand? A Disney, Mickey Mouse Disney history book, if that's what you want. You have no evidence whatsoever, and it's all, and they'll show you where the earth was connected. I don't give a goddamn about none of that. None of that. There's no evidence. Evidence is showing me. If I show you a pyramid in Africa, show me a pyramid bigger than that one, and then you could say this is where it came from. But if you can't even show me a small pyramid, then what the hell is you up here for? So you just want a dialogue. You want a chance to try to talk me into it. All you have to do is show me the proof. I'll be like, damn, where's that at? You right, brother. You right. That damn pyramid is way bigger than you can't even show me a shoebox. And you sitting up here talking about some damn and here you go. Look at the winners. This is right now. This ain't back in the, it's still in the ice age. They say we ain't came all the way, even though it's getting hot. We still on the fringes of the ice age because it still dropped down. And you can see it's all the way down into the most southern extremities of the United States. You talking about, man, you talking about damn 22 degrees in New Orleans, 17 in Houston, 15 in goddamn San Antonio. Do you understand how cold it gets up here? So we trying to show you that the southern extremities are actually where when our people came over here, they went into the south. Even in America, when you look at the oldest civilization, it's in the south. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing about no Bering Straits or none of that. They sailed over here. How in the hell, if the Olmecs had came through the Bering Straits, don't you think that it'd be pyramids closer to upper North America, in Canada? Why would they go? Why would they wait to get all the way down into goddamn Mexico before they show any evidence of that kind of knowledge? You see, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you mean to tell me they was roaming for thousands of years until they got to the south before they show any evidence of culture and civilization? That don't make no sense. You would have left a trail. You would have left a trail of knowledge and civilization. Something. They don't have anything that is even similar. Now you got mounds, but mounds is one thing, and using stone is a different thing. So when you get in Mexico, you're using stone. You're not using the same level of stone as in ancient Egypt, but you're using stone. So they were doing things in the South that was not being, and some people say it was stone. And I do believe our people came up north from the South. The Olmecs came up north from the South and brought some of that knowledge with them. But at the same time, because it was further away from the epicenter, they did not build on the scale as they did down in the heartland of where the civilization, the major portion of the civilization was located, which was in Mexico. That's a fact. That's why when you look in proximity of where the Olmec heartland was, you see the greatest evidence of pyramids. That's just it. Ain't no if, not an and, or no buts about it. Okay, so when you're talking about the Olmec, you can see the Olmecs is the oldest in the land. Okay, they the old before the Zapotec, for the the Toltec, the Aztec, the Mixtec, and all the other techs. You see, all the techs. The Olmecs is the oldest. Shit, and that, you talking about 15, and that correlates with the new kingdom of Egypt. It's right when the brothers and they went on the war path all over the planet. Because think about it, the new kingdom is when let me come in so I can show y'all so you can understand where I'm coming from. Let me see. When you talking about 1500 on that time, that's the start of the new kingdom. And that's when Amos, the liberator, the first pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, liberated Egypt from the Hyksos. Okay, that's what they say, the Hyksos. And so that's right. You see, that's right. Ain't no such thing as Lemuria. Ain't no such thing as Lemuria or Atlantis. And if it was, it's not the fairy tales that you see in books today. Now, there could be some remnants of our people who were doing some things over there in the islands, and then they, they added all this, extra, and things do happen like that. Well, so that, but, is greater than Egypt and all that. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's folklore. And anyway, Atlantis, the only person that ever mentioned Atlantis was Plato. And he said an Egyptian priest told him that. But the priest didn't say that the civilization was greater than Egypt. He didn't say that, not at all. But right around 1500 BC, when you see the beginning of the Olmecs, right around that time is when the Wasetians from Thebes, what they call Thebes or Waset, Luxor, when they rose up to put the Hyksos out. And so, they probably chased their ass all through the Mediterranean. They probably chased some. You had the sea peoples too, and I don't know if there was any connection with that or not. But so that's why, because when we look at the Olmecs, they are warriors. They're warriors, and they got these helmets on like they're ready to go to battle. They don't look to be friendly at all. Nah. When you talk about just to prove it. See, I like this. I want to talk about this. Is when Thor Hydrodor, he's saying, you know what? I got a hypothesis. Now, I see these Olmecs, I see these pyramids, and I can go on and on and on. It's so intricate of the similarities between the Olmecs and the ancient Egyptians. And nobody could tell me shit. I just don't want to hear it. I'm not going to let nobody talk me out of what I can see and I've studied for 30 years. It's no way possible that you can have that many highly advanced similarities. You just ain't, if it was some small details that anybody could create by themselves, I wouldn't say shit. But when you have so many advanced scientific similarities, then it's no longer a coincidence. It's a probability, and more like a possibility, a probability, more like reality. You see, so Thor Hydrodor said, you know what? I believe the ancient Egyptians could sail to the Americas. I believe they could sail to the Americas. Now, the one thing about the ancient Egyptians, above and beyond anybody on the planet, can I say that with facts? Why? Because I'm sure no other culture shown themselves on boats. You know what I'm saying? As much as everything that they did was on boats. Even their gods were sailing on boats. Every temple you go in, you look up in the damn ceiling, you see the deities, even in the damn stars, sailing on boats. What other civilization do you see so intricately, so much intricate examinations and of maritime activities, and where they sailing on in the stars, they sailing on the planet, they selling down south to Punt, you selling all up into the Mediterranean, all over into Greece and Rome. You selling. No other civilization. The Greeks and Romans was in the Mediterranean. The Romans and the Greeks learned how to build boats from the Carthaginians. You see, that's where the Romans learned how to get their boats, because the Carthaginians was killing their ass. And all they did was reverse engineer the Carthaginian boats. That's what they did. So no other people do you see, shown, in maritime activities like the Africans, particularly the Egyptians. And so, Thor Hydrodor, he was from, where was Thor Hydrodor from? He was from one of them Scandinavian countries. He was in, I think he was from either Norway, one of them. And you see, yeah, yeah. He said this class black. Yeah. I did that a long time, you know. Here, so you see right here, you see Thor Heyerdahl, the first, he had two expeditions, the Ra Expedition 1 and the Ra Expedition 2. I think the first one, it didn't make it. Because I think they built the motherfucker themselves. And it ended up sinking out there. It ended up sinking out there. But then he went back and had the African brothers from Chad build it the second time, and it made it. I got some more slides. I just got to get to them. I got some more. I had to find them. So this show, it was in Egypt. So the brothers from Chad. So the Ra one, you could see it made it, almost 2/3 of the way, and then it cranked out. But the Ra 2 made it all the way from Barbados. So that's when you show and prove. You say, okay, we believe the Egyptians could make it. And a lot of people say, well, how could they have done it? And the crazy thing about it, that wasn't even the largest Egyptian boat. That wasn't even the largest Egyptian boat, because they got a lot of larger boats than that. Now, I'm going to just drop this in here. Now, this is crazy and shit. You see this shit? You see the pyramid, right? The step pyramid. And I can go deeper, and because I was at Teotihuacan. Each one of these I could show, I've been to. Okay, I'm not no nigga in the chat that want to just, put in. I've been here. I've been to both of them, and Egypt I've been 3 times. And when I went with masters too. And then before I went, I had studied 15 years under masters before I went. So I knew exactly what I was looking for when I got there. I wasn't nobody just walking around just looking at monuments. I already had blueprints and, mapping it out. So you see here, they don't even want to talk about these stone sarcophaguses that they done found over here in the Olmecs. And now, if you say the Olmecs came first, then I'm expecting that the science would have been more exquisite. That's not what it is. You cannot find and these are our people. I'm still giving credit where credit is due. I give high praise to our Olmec ancestors, have been for over 20 some odd years. I did the first Olmec Voyages of the Nile in 2007. And here go Negroes that done read a goddamn comic book 2 days ago, gonna come in here and tell me something about ain't no goddamn Olmec came before no damn. If they did, why didn't they reach the level of the ancient Egyptians? You got to make that make sense. If they were greater, show me how they were great. If they came first, okay, they never, even when you talk about the pyramid, they wasn't using no blocks. You talking about they came, that's not true. There's no way possible. Wait a minute, let me show you. Let me show you. Do I got that in here? See, this is what I'm talking about. I got you. You see this shit? You see this shit? You see this? Now, this, I don't knock this. You see this? This is Teotihuacan. I've been on both of them pyramids. This right here is Khufu Pyramid. You see what they wasn't cutting stones like that. They was using stucco and shit and taking jagged rocks and shit. And, so these wasn't smoothed out. You know what I'm saying? These wasn't smoothed out. That's the side of that pyramid of Teotihuacan. You see, they was not cutting no stone. This is a whole nother level. So if the Olmecs came first, you got to explain to me, why didn't they ever reach this level at all in the homeland of the Americas? You see, it's no way possible. You're going to make me believe that. They never reached this level. That's just like people say the Sumerians are older than Egypt. How? The Olmecs built with mud brick. They never cut no stone. Masonry started in Africa. Masonry. That's when you cut stone. That's where you need levelers. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, wait a minute. I hear you. Let me see what family's saying. It don't make no difference. 1,000 years ain't shit. What is 1,000 years, good family? Yeah, that's right. Olmecs came first to America from Africa. You right. Yeah. No, Egypt ain't took nothing to it because the shit don't make no sense. I'm gonna show y'all. I've been in this argument before. Let me show you. Check this out. Now they try to say that the Mayans and the Olmecs and shit will predate the Egyptians then, right? Well, how did they get to Egypt? Okay, that's just like when you say that they came through the Bering Straits. Well, why ain't no evidence up in the north? You mean they didn't, they for thousands of years until they get to the south, they have no evidence of civilization in North America, and then when they get down to south, if you don't use it, you lose it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if they was roaming North America and they ain't built no pyramid, they don't know how to build no damn pyramid. Now, if the Olmecs, how did they get to Egypt? If the Maya, how did they get to Egypt? So they had the land on the continent first. You mean to tell me that they sailed from the Gulf of Mexico? I guess they went up through the Persian, but the Gulf Stream gonna bring you straight to West Africa. So if they landed in West Africa, why ain't no pyramids in West Africa? Why ain't no pyramids in West Africa? Why is it? So you mean to tell me they skipped over West Africa? Because if you sailing somewhere, you got to land, unless you gonna make me believe that they just sail all the way straight to Egypt. They want you to believe that. Didn't know where Egypt was, didn't know nothing about the continent, but they was able to sail from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to Egypt. But if they hit the continent of Africa, then wherever they landed, because I'm going to tell you this is a strategic reality. When most people land somewhere that they ain't never been to, the first place they land becomes what they call it, home. That's their home base. They not gonna go deeper into the fucking. They're gonna stop right there on the coast. That's where they're gonna set up at, because if they come into any hostility, they want to be able to get the fuck up off of that motherfucker as quick as possible. So you gonna start on just like when they came. The 13 colony was right off the eastern seaboard. They started, and you see Jamestown and all these. They was right off the seaboard. And then you could watch how the states develop. They develop from where they landed, and then they move, you understand, systematically to the west. That's just a fact. So if the Olmecs came, then you would at least see some of the evidence of their particular culture. I'm not to say that West Africa don't have culture, because they got pyramids already, but they don't look like the pyramids of the Olmecs. They don't. They got a different style of pyramid, okay? They got a different style. So you got to show me how the fuck the Olmecs brought, and they never see. The thing is, just like the Sumerians, just like the Olmec, and those are our people. They never, and they always say they took it to another level. The ones they trying to give credit to being the authors of this knowledge never achieved the level of the ancient Egyptians. They never achieved the level. How you gonna bring something that you never achieved? These people, you got to at least show me you cut a stone. How the fuck and you ain't never cut no stone. You ain't cut no stone, man. This shit is small stones, man. Let me bring this shit up. You ain't cutting no stone. You got to at least be able to show me you cut a little stone. You ain't showing me you didn't have the tools to do that. Now, this is my peoples now. The Olmecs is my peoples. I'm just saying they had a different style. And that the style that they used was less advanced than the ancient. That's right there in front of your fucking face. Now, if you can show me, I don't want to talk with nobody. This is show and tell. And if you can't show me nothing, you can't tell. You want to tell and not show. This is show and tell. God damn it, don't come in here talking that talk. You hear me? This is not tell and no, don't show. This is show and tell. Okay, and that's what y'all doing right now. Okay. What time? I'm already 30 in. I'm already 30 in. Okay. Let me come down here. I don't want to go too deep. Nah. I'm actually dealing with the geography. You know, I'm actually dealing with the geography, and y'all, you know, I'm heating up, and I'm gonna say some of that, you know, for another time, for because it's a lot of places that I could go. It's a lot of places that I could go, and right here showing that, even when you talk about the mound culture, even the mound cultures in North America, the South was they ain't you can't show me at no point in time that the Egyptians used the style. You see, anyway, listen, dog, I'm a master debater. You can't fucking debate me, man. If you saying that the fucking they innovated, what the fuck, show me where they used that style at all. Since you said they innovated, nigga. Since you say they innovated, and then I'm gonna get off of this, because I'm a master motherfucker. I can come up with an answer soon as, because I didn't debated you niggas already. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it. I know how they develop. So you show me where the Egyptians built one pyramid using the style of the Olmecs. Can you show me that? Damon, can you do that? Get out of here, man. You weak. I need you, though. I need you, Damon. Keep coming. I need you, man. You respectful. I like you. You're respectful. You don't necessarily agree with me, but you're respectful. So I like you. Come on back. You see what I'm saying? We just getting started, family. Yeah. I just know where it is. I know how they developed. And at no point in time did the Egyptians ever use the style of the Olmecs. And so if you're saying that they innovated, and then tell me, how did the Olmecs get to Egypt? They had to land on the west coast of Africa first. And did they leave any artifacts that look like the artifacts in Mexico? Did they leave any in West Africa? Or did they just sail straight to Egypt? They just say, fuck it, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm gonna just, that's a long fucking way not to stop. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the ancient world. And you got to stop to fucking get food and water and shit. You know them, you're not gonna make me believe they sail from fucking Mexico all the way to Egypt. Even a motherfucking ship today would be hard pressed. Even a ship today would be hard fucking pressed to go from oh, they went the other way. That's even longer. Well, that's even fucking longer, man. What the fuck? Who you think you fucking with? That's even longer. So you telling me they went across the Pacific and the Indian Ocean? Damon, go to sleep, man. Go to sleep, man. Get some rest, man. It's been a long night. So they went across the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. This motherfucker just sailed across two major oceans. Man, please. Hello, man. I'm out of here, man. I'll be black in a minute, family. Get over to Patreon and click the link with the general. You feel me? We got some fire for you, family. The general, you already know we back. We just dropping science. I got some toys, family. I'm about to do nothing but the science. The king is back. Make sure y'all tap in. Don't miss no. This is all visuals. You feel me? It's all visuals. I see y'all in a minute. Make sure y'all like the video and share it, family. Black Power.